Hi guys, welcome back to my ShipShip channel. My name is Blessing Sipo. Please like this video and subscribe to the ShipShip channel. So today I wanted to do this video called my best or worst experience. Okay, to explain the video, if you don't know how the game is played in it, so I kind of like set up a particular instance. I will see, maybe let's say what's your best and worst experience when it came to dinings, and then I can say, maybe for example, I can say maybe that my best experience was when I had this dish when I in Russia, and then my worst experience is when I had this dish in Nigeria. I hope you get my chutney. But then I have like only 10 questions on the laptop, like when I'm and stuff like that, because I told myself I want to make this video short, sweet and simple, because I don't want to complicate things, like having a video which is more than 17 minutes long. It's kind of like sanalami, like good now. So I decided to see the video aibe like short, sweet and simple. And yeah, because I'm also on a study break and I need to study, I'm writing criminal procedure on Thursday, and this video was filmed on a random Sunday around 3 p.m. So yeah, that's why I'm speaking so fast, because I want to make this video short, sweet and simple. Okay, it's best or worst questions. Yo guys, I can't see anything because I have the flashlight in this phone, and this thing is blinding me now. I can't see anything. Okay, the best or worst first question says like what's the best meal you have ever had, and the worst. The best meal I ever had was what? The best meal I ever had. Yo guys, I have short memory, like I suffer from short memory. Angisakhumbuli. But I always eat, but angisakhumbuli ukuthi which one was the best meal I ever had. Angisakhumbuli. But the worst meal I ever had probably will be something cooked by someone I won't mention because I don't want to be sued for defamation of character. But it will be a meal cooked by her because she was a terrible cook. Hashem. Hashem. Okay, and another question goes like, what's the best movie you have ever seen, and the worst? Yes, and the worst one, you said true. Okay, when are the best movie I have ever seen, I would probably say something like Black Panther. I don't know, it's giving Wakanda Forever. I want something like that, like African kind of vibes, like you feel me, you get me? And then the worst movie I have ever said true was what? Which one? The worst movie. You guys, I'm trying to remember. I suffer from this cognitive period. The worst movie that I ever said true. The worst one. Let me try and think of the worst movie I have ever said true. Which one would it be? The worst movie I've ever said true. Unless maybe it was something on it's Lokshin Bioscope, one of those things called Ulutando. Yo, if you're watching this Lutando, you move was the worst, because I don't understand what's happening. Like Omoni turns out to be a doctor without the basic metric or national science certificate, and it was like Okay, another question on this best or worst is like, okay, says what's the best decision you have ever made, and the worst mistake? Okay, the best decision I've ever made was probably like take myself serious when it came to my academics. I'm out here now doing my second year in LLB, and I'm still gonna make such great decisions because I wanna end up on United Nations or International Court of Justice or International Criminal Court. I want something And the decision that I took when I said to myself that I'm gonna take this academic thing serious, that was the best decision of my life. And then the worst mistake, my worst mistake, probably every my worst mistake. The thing is that I don't know if I suffer from cognitive period because I have this thing of not thinking twice when I have to do certain things, because like I end up finding myself in certain instances where I'll be like, yeah, when there's a possibility that you might end up going to jail, because like, what the heck? But then if I had to list, the only one worst mistake that I ever made was, okay, let me say the worst mistake the worst mistake doesn't come from a possibility of me going to jail, but kind of like maybe a sad little love story or something like that. Because I don't know, I kind of like loved okay, let's call this person X, but I kind of like loved X back in the day. But then I had this thing on how I kept this thing to myself. But then now I'm sitting this thing is eating me because I am stressed about what could have been instead yabona of acting on that thing when I had the chance. So that's my worst mistake, because now I'm like every day I'm saying to myself yabona, if I kind of like said to X on yabona most my sentiment that I held towards X yabona, it could have been something else. Maybe imagine ngoba sengishadile like talalala roses and stuff like that yabona, getting married. But then when I sat and kept quiet, so that was the worst mistake of my life. And then okay, it says, who's the best teacher you've ever had and the worst one? The best teacher that I ever had was probably my math literacy teacher. I don't know, she made the math literacy simple and understandable, even though she was kind of like somewhat strict. Yeah, wanna like a little Marina, she was the good teacher, because I just said in the class and I was like, okay, I feel you, ma'am. Okay, I feel you, gorgeous. And then I got things. And then the worst teacher was probably that boy who was teaching us geography. Yo. Angazi, like, how do they admit these people to be teachers? Because that boy was terrible. Shem was terrible. Even if you could wake a zombie from its dead, it can do a better job than that boy. That boy was terrible. Shem, I don't wanna lie. And I got level 4 in geography. It was my lowest mark, because when we measure from level 1 to level 7, and in geography I got level 4. It's my worst mark because of that boy. He's the terrible. I don't want to see him ever again. If I had a gun, I would boom him out. And then another question is that, like, what's the best trip you've ever taken and the worst travel experience? One of the best trip I've ever taken was when we went to Port Elizabeth. It was so cute. Like, it was my first time seeing the ocean, because I live in Elizabeth, and in Elizabeth we are in the middle of nowhere, so there's no possibility of seeing any ocean in Elizabeth, because like, even if you had millions, there's no ocean in Elizabeth. So the best one was probably like seeing something different, something which I'm not used to, which was the ocean, because you're one of. And then the worst trip that I ever had, I can't recall him. I don't want to lie. I don't want to make up a certain instance. I don't recall any worst travel experience. And then another question is like, what's the best advice you've ever received and the worst advice you have ever followed? The best advice that I've ever received was I think it was by Amahle Klekane. I hope I pronounced that right, because I'm not close apart. I think she was Amahle Klekane or something like that, because she said this thing, Yabona. She said, and I quote, "You do not need permission to leave." And I was like, okay. Like, I'm gonna take your words into the heart, because like, okay. Yeah. And then the worst advice that I've ever taken was probably nothing, because I will sit and take worst advices, because I know myself here. But from day one, I had an IQ greater and higher than the economy of the Republic. So there's no possibility of having the greatest of humankind taking some when I messed up advice, because like, I'm like, huh? You're advising me to do that? Like, do you know who the fuck you're talking to? I am great. I am Fyodor Dostoevsky. Okay, another question is that, like, what's the best date you've been on and the most awkward one? I can't answer both questions because I've never been on a date before. I see. I can't have the best and worst when I haven't done that thing in my life. So, none. What's the best habit you have developed and the worst you can't shake? The best habit that I ever developed was probably like taking myself serious, because I say that I love myself. Like, when I want to do something, I just do that thing like immediately. I don't postpone it for tomorrow or whatever. And if I want to go out there and watch the sunset or sunrise, I can just go out there and do that immediately without postponing certain things, because what I know is that you can't postpone the sunset because you are not ready to see it. But if you wake up and then tomorrow when I so feel you are dead, and the sunset won't wait for you. So the best habit that I've ever taken was to act on whatsoever I wanted to do immediately. So yeah, that's the best, because you can't postpone things in this world. And the worst one that I can shake your mination, I listen to this thing of being lazy in certain instances. because even now I want to sleep. I'm closing this thing.